Yes, people, welcome back to 12th Man. Welcome back to the show. Weekend preview is here again to preview what is going to be a mental weekend. We've got Man United Spurs, we've got Newcastle City, we've got Arsenal Leicester, and many, many more. I think Brighton Chelsea as well. Wow. That's always seems a bit of a, not a rivalry, it always just seems a bit of a strange game, that one, because of the amount of transfers that we have seen over the last couple of seasons. Big ups to every single one of you for being here. Thank you all for joining me over from Lee Judge's channel as well. Big up to every single one of you in the chat. Please make sure you hit the like button and you hit subscribe, and make sure you are following all of these guys. George, how are you, bruv?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Big win yesterday, a big confidence booster. Red card. We showed certain guys that you can attack with 10 men, man. But yeah, it's feeling all right now.
Man, we'll come back to that. Trust me. Dan, what are you telling me, bro? You good?
Yeah, all good, mate. Excited for the weekend. That's outrageous, George, by the way. We got to say that. Come on. Against Carrier Bag FC, mate. Shocking statement. But yeah, all good, man. I can't wait to get onto that topic.
Yeah, man, we're going to start there now that you said it. Mo, talk to me, bro. How are you, mate? It's been too long, man.
He's on mute, Mo.
You're on mute, bro.
We can't hear you.
Or are you not? Is it audio problems?
Yeah. I wasn't muted actually in front of me for some reason. It just nothing picked up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, for some reason. Anyway, I was just saying, Alhamdulillah, I'm all good. I'm going good. Glad to be here. Glad to be here, people.
Yeah, man. Big up. Listen, we got Dan United and Pete joining us soon. They can talk about their thoughts of United. And of course, Newcastle have got City, but got to start with that statement, George, man. I mean, wow. We're talking about Tottenham going to Carabao FC, and we're talking about Arsenal at the Etihad defending with
No,
10 men.
I'm not even referring to the Etihad game because the Etihad game.
You were. Come on,
no,
man.
I wasn't.
George, you are,
I'm not
mate. Don't say Brighton because we also
no, because I'm definitely talking about the Brighton game because I had a conversation the other day, and I was some Arsenal fans. There was a few Arsenal fans that I've been on recent shows with, and they're quite outrightly saying, "Why should you attack with 10 men against Brighton? Yeah, we were forced to defend. We were forced to play this way." And I said, no team's forced to defend. If you choose to defend a 1-0 lead, then you choose to do that. But I knew that my team, at even 0-0, 1-0, 2-0, we're going to play the same way and we're going to keep going for it. Sometimes, yeah, it might be suicide, but Arsenal been in positions, as I said, like the Brighton game, where they probably should have won if they played better football and they played to a team to attack. The Etihad game, I definitely wasn't referencing that because my team has gone to the Etihad under Conte, under Mourinho, nicked wins, played dirty football, and I've loved it. You think I've shamelessly sat there and I've loved it, so I'm not going to get onto it about that.
That wasn't going down to 10 men, though, was it? If you go to Arsenal, didn't go there, I don't think originally to sit back and play it dirty. I think we saw that they did
it in the end.
Well, they had to because they got a man sent off. And if you look at it, George, it was George, last season, you were 10 games unbeaten. Again, you come up and face Chelsea. You got a man sent off. Your manager didn't change, and then you run out the window, and your season fell apart.
Wait, Dan, no, Dan. If you watch that game, would you not rightly so that? I remember there was.
And
that
you know what you Gaffer
did?
You Gaffer literally sacrificed players to injury.
You beat us 4-1, Dan, but you scored half of those goals in the past the 85th minute.
George, up until that then, is because your manager refused to change and effectively
and even away from that.
How many players got injured that season? And what was your season like after that?
Dan,
the point was diabolical.
No, but now you're taking to a different point. The point is you can tackle with 10 men. I watched Liverpool go down. I watched Liverpool. I watched Liverpool go down to 10 men against Tottenham. I watched Liverpool go down to 10 men against Tottenham last season when we beat them 2-1, and they were playing better football than us at 10 men. The only point when we took over the game was when they went down to 9. But when they was on 10 against 11, they were completely outperforming us. So
yeah, it shows that shows the level. That shows the difference in quality.
Levels of a team.
You only
Arsenal at the level of a team. That's a team
when they had 9 men on the pitch. Coaches don't even do that as a training drill because it's that unlikely.
George, can you explain to me 2-1 up at the Etihad, Arsenal?
I didn't say nothing about the Etihad game, Mo. If you listen to my first statement, that's
Brighton. You're talking about Brighton?
What about the Brighton game? That's exactly
okay. The Brighton game, they actually hold on. They actually, I went and checked the actual stats. They actually created more chances than Brighton being down a man than when they were 11.
Well, they had a few.
These are facts, by the way.
They had a few counter-attacks. I remember the game. I watched the game. I remember a few counter-attacks.
Actually, hold on. It's not called counter-attacks, George. If you build from the back and you buy... let's just...
It was a counter. We know. No. It was in transition. They caught them in transition. Did they not? The Saka chance.
Hold on. That's not called transition. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. People really, I think, confuse the word counter-attack with bypassing the press, transition. They're completely two different things. Transition means it is not my fault if Spurs are pressing me with 8 players and I'm able to bypass the press. That's not called counter-attacking. That is called bypassing your press. That is what Arsenal did against Brighton. Counter-attacking is that when I dispossess you at halfway line and I go against your defense, or I dispossess you. That is not what Arsenal did.
No,
against Brighton, George, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because some teams, George, yes, they only play in the counter-attacks. However, some other teams, it is not my fault as a team if Brighton want to press with 8 men. If Man City want to press with 8 men. If I can bypass that press, that is credit to me. That's not called counter-attack. Otherwise, every single team that presses is only one way to attack this counter-attack. No, Arsenal didn't play on the counter-attack against Brighton.
Can I just bring this up as well, right? Because, like, I know, George, you didn't bring this actual game up. You're actually talking about Brighton. But when teams have gone down to 10 at the Etihad, this has happened, right? 6-0, 5-0, 3-0, 4-1. Teams that have tried to attack at the Etihad with 10 men. That is why we didn't do it. And I know you're not referencing that. I know you're talking about Brighton. And Mo is actually right. Havertz fluffed his lines. Ødegaard fluffed his lines.
But Dan, isn't there one team that you're missing out? Correct me if I'm wrong, but then Leeds beat them with 10 men.
Yeah, Leeds did. Dallas, actually.
Okay. So it still can be done. And that was under Bielsa, I'm pretty sure. Bielsa, who was playing gung-ho football. But he was showing that you can beat City. But my point, even against City, I do think Arsenal did still sit back a bit too much, didn't show really enough in the attack. But obviously, there's problems that we'll get into with no Ødegaard there. I think that's going to be an issue. I think that will continue to be an issue without him being able to play in that 10 role. So, yeah, no.
I wasn't going to touch on Arsenal Leicester, but I think just quickly, the running games we've got now, we start playing Pulis football, I'll have my hands up and go, what are we doing? But I really believe we'll now start to bring some attacking play into it. And I understand that Ødegaard's out, and I understand that Ethan Nwaneri might not be ready. But I looked at him. He's a baller, man. He's looking good for us. So I hope that we can now start to score some goals, because that's what I'm going to want to be seeing, man, because it's been mad. But Tottenham, Manchester United, it is a big game for you boys. Dan has joined us as well. Let's start with Spurs, because obviously you come off the back of beating Carrier-Bag with 10 men. So fair play to you. But real talk about Man United. Are you confident, George?
Yeah, definitely confident. I think these 3 games after the Arsenal performance, because that was poor, to say the least. But after those 3 games leading after it, we've managed to get wins, build some confidence going into this Man United game. I think Man United is still a dangerous team. The one thing I hate is when we have to play Manchester United when they're in a bad run of performances, because somehow, some way, they always tend to turn up. The performances recently, I remember the Nuno game when they beat us 3-0, Nuno versus Oli, and then I also remember the game when he's in horrible form and Ronaldo scored a hat-trick. So it's just like things always go wrong when we play Man United in bad form, and somehow, some way, they manage to have their manager extending their job. But me looking at the game and looking at how our team are playing right now, I see no way why we shouldn't beat them. Our attacks creating really a lot of chances. We're taking control of teams. In our most recent games, I feel like we're playing with a lot more urgency. Son and Solanke being able to combine well. Solanke's finding his scoring shoot. Like, he's scoring now. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. Brennan Johnson, another one, 3 goals in 3 games. So I see no reason why we shouldn't beat Man United. I'll definitely be disappointed if we don't. But Man United are one of these really weird teams, because you've seen that they're like a team of 2 halves, because the first half, they're dominating teams, creating good chances. Garnacho, Diallo, they're playing well. But then in the second half, they get run through. There's space in midfield. It's too easy.
At Old Trafford, Dan, I mean, look, I don't think it matters at the moment. Man United are not going through a good patch. And I heard against FC Twente, it wasn't good. I just don't understand why Ten Hag is still here, but he is. What are you saying for the weekend against Spurs? Are you confident? Are you nervous? Do you think you've got hope in hell? What's happening here, man?
Well, it's classic Ten Hag range, this, isn't it? He's had people come out again this week and question him. So we'll probably go get a result. I don't know how we're going to get a result because FC20 should have beat us. If it wasn't for the fact that FC20's boss, Shut Up Chop, was happy with the 1-1, I think they'd have gone on and beat us. Second half, we were just atrocious. Again, I talk about it. I've spoken about this the last couple of years. There's no plan there. There's no fluidity. It's just boring football. I think Spurs, obviously, after the Arsenal game, have had to sort of try and get some results going and get some form going. I think we're playing them at the worst time. I really do. I just look across that pitch, and okay, we've got names, but I don't see a group of players yet that are still that can see out a game. I completely agree with what you just said there about first half we're brilliant, second half we just fall to pieces. First half against FC20, yeah, we were really good. Same with Palace, but in the Premier League, you have to be able to be at it for 90 minutes. You can't just rest on your laurels. So it's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a tough one. I said on Monday to you, Potts, about this. United fans are gassing up that we beat Barnsley 7-0. We won 3-0 against Southampton. We can't be judging Ten Hag on these results. It's teams like Spurs, like Villa, following that he has to be judged on. So it's one of them. It's one of them. It could either go really good, it could go really bad. I think Spurs will be licking their lips. I know, obviously, the record playing us when we're in a slump is bad, but I think you'll be licking your lips at playing us. There's no better time to be playing us because at the moment the players just don't look at it for him at all. And I'm sick to death of hearing his excuses. Hearing Christian Eriksen, regardless of what I think of him as a player now, he's a player. He's well experienced in the Premier League, well experienced in world football. To hear him come out after FC20 and say, "Yeah, we sat in the changing room and we all agreed they wanted it more," that's just, it's not acceptable. Not acceptable. I touched on it before in a voice note to you, Potts, on the WhatsApp group. Listening to Rio Ferdinand walk around the training ground and saying the ambience has changed at this club. The good times feel like they're coming back. It's not the good times. It's an acceptance now at what level we are. So I won't have that. I fly to Greece tomorrow, so I'm happy either way. But I'm not expecting us to pull up any trees by any means.
Mo, how's this game going to go, bro?
Spurs are going to win this game. Ten Hag has ego. He's not going to sit back. He's going to try to match Spurs, actually. And he's going to get beat. And I think this is the game when we see Ten Hag sacked, to be honest, finally. And then Man United are free again. This is the game. Ten Hag's going to get sacked this game at home. He's going to get sacked after the game. They're gonna have Ruud van Nistelrooy and Spurs. Listen, I can't back Spurs after what happened last season, but because Man United are absolutely horrific team right at the current moment, and this manager doesn't know what he's doing, I will back Spurs in this game, even away at Old Trafford. Because the problem is, if Man United are going to sit back and defend against Spurs, I think they can get something out of this game. I just doubt that Ten Hag will sit back at home. He won't. He will try to match Spurs a little bit. He will try to press, thinking that he's going to watch the game against Karabakh and thinking that I can do the same. I can dispossess a defender. That doesn't happen for Spurs in the Premier League. That was a lapse of concentration from Dragutin, and it's not going to happen in the league. Van de Ven and Romero don't do that. They won't do this, right? But he's going to think, he's stupid like this. Yeah, Erik Ten Hag. He's got stupid like this. He's going to think, I can dispossess these guys. And Spurs are just
he's going to think as well. You're completely right, because they play such a high line. He's just going to think that they can hit them long balls over the top, hit them on the counter. That's his game plan for the weekend, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
The problem with this guy Erik Ten Hag is that I don't think he approaches game the right way at all. He played Manchester City last season, I think, and he tried to match them by trying to play from the back. And it's like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What are you watching? Are you watching different sport than us? I think I actually now starting to think, with all due respect to Ten Hag, I'm starting to think this guy has something wrong with his thinking. Like, as a person, the way he talks to the press, and I'm sorry to say that, the way he talks to the press, the way he manages games, the way he actually manages questions in press conferences, the way he manages players, it's not right for a normal football coach to be like this. I think the pressure got to him that he lost some brain cells or something like this. Because you can't be just a normal human being. I'm sorry. I know this sounds strange. Guys, I know this
No, it
sounds
doesn't,
strange.
Mo. You're right.
I'm
He
not
speaks
someone,
in riddles.
look,
You're right. You're right.
I am not someone to talk about. I don't know the guy personally, right? I can only analyze what's in front of me. You cannot tell me that this is a normal human being talking to press conferences. He's asking the guy in the press conference, what did you should be answering the question, bro. What are you asking the question? Bro, he is strange, bro. And then when he's talking about I'm the second successful team in the country, what are you on? I want some of what you smoke, bro. What is this? And then dealing with the situations is very strange. I don't think people understand how strange this looked to me. I have never seen a coach that bad, not only in terms of coaching, but in terms of like persona. You know what I mean? I've never seen, bro. We thought Louis van Gaal was a madman. Louis van Gaal was a normal guy. This guy is out of this world. I don't know how Jim Ratcliffe and Omar Barad and these guys deal with him on a day-to-day basis. He must say some outrageous stuff to people. I don't know, bro. Like this is not a normal. This is not a normal human being managing a football club. I don't understand, bro. I don't. Just let me just say this last thing that I said many times. How does this guy say every day in front of 40 people and lecture them? This is the job of a coach. How?
But Mo, is that not what you've just said about what we'll do? Is that just not the easy job for Ratcliffe and co to do? Yeah, we'll sack him and bring Rude in. I don't want that. I don't want that. We've had that. We've done it with Ollie. Okay, yeah, Ollie's at the wheel. The good times are back. The fans adore him because he's a club legend. We know how that story ends. It's just a waste of time. If they're serious, if they want him gone, and I hope to God, if we do lose, that he does go. Because look, time's up. He's had enough now. He's had enough players. He's spent enough money. He's had all the excuses, going for him. Not having a fit enough team last season. Well, I'm sorry, that's not right because you've got players this season. We had a strong bench against FC20. They've got to go out there and get someone. If they're, I mean, like I couldn't believe. Do you know what? Every day I wake up and I think, can anyone laugh at my club anymore today? And some days it doesn't happen. I think, good, okay, we survived another day. Then I see today that Barada comes out and says, our plan is to win it in 2028, our 150th anniversary as a club. I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me. So you're telling the fans that the plan is to win the Premier League in 2028. What the hell does that even mean? Like, what inspiration does that give me as a fan? Oh, it's all right. Another 2 or 3 years. Yeah, that's fine. And then hopefully we'll start to come good. It's just ridiculous. And what's happening now is with all of this fanfare, all of this positivity that was brought in when Ineos come, when Barada come, when Ashworth come, with Wilcox come, it's going down the toilet quick and fast. And let me tell you something. The fans will only give you so long. The fans will only give you so long before they start getting bored of it, getting tired of it. So if they're going to sack him, go out there and spend the money and bring some. Do you know something? I hold the L. I said this to you, Dan. I hold the L. I said I didn't want Tuchel. Tuchel would do 10 million times a better job than what this guy's doing at the moment. He's available. I think you said it, Mo, when we had a chat earlier on in pre-season. Bring him in. Just bring him in. If that's what it needs, because at the moment it's going from bad to worse, and it is going to get worse because it's just pointless. It's bizarre. It's pathetic, and it's laughable. It's laughable.
It was not good, man. It's not good. I can't lie. I mean, like, big up to Z. He's always here. Z doesn't like Mo. Never heard Mo say anything positive about United, even when we win. But Z is a Ten Hag defender, man. Spurs aren't putting up any trees.
He's lying. He's lying. Because I said the Xerxes signing is good. The De Ligt signing. I actually someone who sat on the football terrace and defended the De Ligt signing because I think he's a good defender. He just had bad circumstances. I said the Ugarte signing is what the doctor. People just don't remember. I said the Ugarte thing is what the doctor ordered for Manchester United. And people, why are you doing this? Because you needed a DM like that, right? It's my opinion. So for people to say I don't say positive things about Man United, it's a big lie. Actually,
See,
my problem. I know why Man United fans don't like me anymore, because I go public and I say Man United are not a big club anymore. You're a big club by revenue and by fan base. Otherwise, you aren't. In terms of football, Brighton away is tougher than Man United away. Crystal Palace away is tougher than Man United away. That's reality. Ask anyone, right? Look at Liverpool. Ask anyone, right? Ask anyone. I said Man United are not, bro. I said, I'm going to say it again. So the people that didn't listen to me, when a big team lose at home to a team like Bournemouth 3-0, and the manager was not under a lot of pressure, and the manager wasn't getting sacked, that is a mediocre club acting like a mediocre club. When you lose 7-0 to your biggest rival in the biggest game of English football, and it's okay, and it's gotten forgotten within some months, and then you lose at home again, when you get dismantled 3-0 against Liverpool, I get it only if you're challenging for the title. What are Man United challenging for now? Nothing. So why is he still at the helm of Man United after 3-0 a home defeat against your biggest rival in English football? There's no explanation other than you turned into a mediocre club. And your board think that as well, because they're all right with it. This guy, Omar Barada, we're going to win the league in 2028. Shut up, bro. Man United are not this club. They're not.
Well, I said this last year several times, and Potts, you can back me on this. We are a big club by history, but and reputation in the sense of fans that follow us across the world. But on the field, no chance. That time sailed 5-6 years ago. We're nowhere near. We're nowhere near the pack. We are chasing the pack so far back. We literally, when clubs have like a poor start to the season, look at Arsenal. Not a poor start, but you drew against Brighton. You've drawn against. People are like, they're still in the race. We were never in the race to start with. And I got people saying to me, no, you're too negative. Z saying that, what did FC20 do? Mate, you must have watched a different game. Second half, they were all over us. The only reason the game changed is because they went to a back five and had a 4 in front. It's Christ almighty, I can't do it.
Can I say one thing before Dan and George come in? Man United, the last time Man United were close, I'm saying their name was mentioned next to the major honors, which is for me the Premier League or the Champions League, was 2012. People who finished elementary school, finished primary school, finished secondary school, finished high school, finished college, and Man United name is not mentioned in the names are challenging for the Premier League or challenging for the Champions League. 12 years, guys, soon to be 13, because they're definitely not winning the Champions League because they're not in it, and they aren't challenging for the league, right? 13 years. How do you call yourself still a big club on the pitch? I'm not disputing the fan base and the money and the revenue and the shirt sales. How do you call yourself a big club if your name is not mentioned next to the major honor for 13 years? Can you imagine 13 years, bro?
It's crazy. And look, Man United have spent money like a big club, but they haven't acted like a big club for a while. They're huge in terms of their revenue. They're massive in terms of their heritage and their support, their global fan base. They've got everything, right? I know they've got the stadium, but that is kind of leaking. However, I look at the way they've been run, and it's an absolute shambles. Now, I understand there's a new structure in place, but I'm actually quite surprised that they've managed to actually get behind this manager and actually give him more Ajax players like Ten Hag and Mazraoui to try and get moving it forward. It's just like, for me, I would have gone and got Tuchel. I think he's a quality manager. He's got a CV that says I win. You know what he did at Chelsea, and I think he'd be doing a hell of a lot better. But we've got to see what happens. I happen to think, and I'll come to you on this, Dan, next. I actually think this game could be like a 1-1 draw or something. I don't know that Tottenham in front of goal look outstanding at times. I don't think the Manchester United look a shambles at the back, but I just don't know that I see either of these teams winning. Now, I could be wrong, and Tottenham could go there and blitz them because Man United have got that in them at the moment. But at Old Trafford, I kind of see this being a draw. But I don't know what you think, how you see this one going, bro.
I think United win it pretty comfortably.
Wow.
I think Tottenham, yeah, I do.
Dan,
I think Ten Hag. Do you know what it is? Do you know?
Bloody hell! I need your positivity, brother.
Do you know what it is? I think Manchester United have got unbelievable runners in behind, and we've seen that Ange time and time again isn't going to change his system. No one can sit here and tell me that Karabakh didn't have chances last night, because they did. And I believe Manchester United are a better side.
We had 10 men down.
George, they had chances. Well, they would have had chances if you weren't down.
You can't say that. We had 10 men from 8 minutes
George,
in.
you've conceded chances to every single team you've played since
We've
Ange took the job.
conceded a
after
lot
10
less chances this season than we did last season. And
Okay,
if you actually look at the stats, shots on target faced against our defense, we're up there with the likes of Man City and Liverpool.
George, you were unbeaten 10 games in. Halfway now, you've started much worse. Your clean sheet record
We've
is
started worse, but our
under Ange.
performances have been better.
George, I'm just vocalizing my opinion as to why I think you'll struggle against Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United have looked way better on the counter-attack than in the game that they've been asked to dominate. And that's exactly how they'll set up against you. They've got dynamic players that will stretch your back line, which is Tottenham's biggest weakness. And Ten Hag, when he's needed to win, has somehow found a way to win every single time. And I know we're talking about Man United not being a big club. We had this discussion, I think, the other day, me and Mo. But Manchester United are still winning trophies. And that is a sign of a big club, whether you like it or not. They win trophies. Yes, their management behind the scenes has been atrocious. And I also think the statement to say Manchester United will be back champions for titles in 4 years' time is ludicrous, because Manchester United should be champion for titles Premier League season in, Premier League season out. However you dress it up, they should be turning around and saying, look, we will absolutely address this situation and be back challenging for titles within 4 years, not by 4 years. Maybe next season they go and recruit just as much as they've done this summer for a different manager. And I don't think that team is too far away. But ultimately, I genuinely don't see Tottenham giving Manchester United too much of a challenge. I just don't think Tottenham are that good when Ange sets them up in the way that he does.
Go on then, George. What are you telling me?
I just have to disagree quite heavily there, because you're saying Tottenham conceded a lot of chances. We haven't conceded that many chances this season. If you look in the Arsenal game, you look at the Newcastle game, we conceded a few chances. And the thing is, this season that we've been very unfortunate in is the chances we have conceded have been very good chances that the team have had, and they've put them away. You just have to look at the Brentford game. I know probably a lot of people didn't watch it because it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, but they scored their first chance and then they didn't create anything for a long time. So Mo, if you watched the game, you would have known that we absolutely dominated them from the first 20, 30, 40 minutes. Probably the best football that we played all season, breaking through them, a lot of urgency, some tactical tweaks from Ange. So I look at our team and say, if Man United, like you said, are going to step out at home and try play football against us, we're easily going to break through their lines. We're easily going to cut through them. We have better players. We play better football.
No, you don't.
Yes,
we do not have better players than Manchester United.
Players.
You don't.
We play better football. Our midfield is a lot better than Manchester United's, because Manchester United midfield has no structure.
Your midfield is probably your weakest area. Manchester United have a much better midfield. I would
highly disagree, because I would say when we play the midfield of Rodrigo, Bentancur, Kulusevski and Maddison, that midfield does look very good together. It's very attacking and we take control of games. And I think that
hold on. Then you really think Man United are ahead of Spurs?
Yeah. I don't think Manchester United's squad is that bad. I just think, and in games, Ten Hag has got things massively wrong, and I think he's failed in Europe massively. Don't even get me started.
So let me put the hypothetical.
But I do think Manchester United and the way that they've looked strongest is literally playing Spurs play into their hands.
Let me put this forward, and this for everyone. I'm sorry, Dan, just to ask this question on your channel.
I'll do it, mate. I love it.
Just a simple question for everyone and people in the chat. I asked this on my channel. Do you think if we copied Ange Postecoglou and we gave Ange Postecoglou to Man United will be better than Tottenham Hotspur?
That's difficult to say. I don't think that's the argument we're discussing here.
You know why I'm asking this? Because if we get a new manager for Manchester United, do people think that Manchester United will be ahead of the likes of Spurs or Chelsea?
You give Tuchel United, they're miles ahead of Spurs.
They will. I do think they will. 100%. The players under a proper management regime, Mo. We've sat here for months saying this guy is clueless. He gets it wrong week in, week out. Yeah. The player, he's got the tools. It's not like he has the tools available to him. He just doesn't know how to use them. It's as simple as that.
But I argue that Spurs as a team are much better. Okay, I'm sorry. Romero and Van de Ven are definitely better than Man United. Vicario,
No, what?
even
No,
though
they're not.
no, that's not
No
right.
way, Mo.
It's wrong.
Anana's better than Vicario in goal
Anana's
to start
Based
with.
on what? Okay,
The
based
lit
on
is
what? Dan? I'm sorry,
Romero.
based
No,
on
he's
what?
not.
Romero has been.
No,
Hang
he's
on.
not.
Romero's been shocking this season from set pieces. He is 100%.
You're just lying now, Dan. He's been better
No,
than
I'm not.
all of your defenders.
What? Hang on. We're not even talking about Chelsea, mate. I'm
He's
talking
better
about
than
Man
all the Man
United.
United defenders, better than all of your defenders.
No,
What
he
are we
ain't better
doing
than
here?
Delit.
Romero's been good
Not
this
better than
season.
Delit.
Romero's had one mistake against in the Arsenal game, which people are trying to highlight. But outside of that mistake, he actually had a really good game. And what are
Romero
we doing
hasn't
here?
looked that good.
And Leicester, man,
Virg-
Leicester. What was he doing
Yeah.
with Vardy? That was a shambles.
Martinez is a better defender than him.
No way.
Lisandro
Yeah,
Martinez
he
is
is.
better than
Yeah,
Romero
Lisandro
as
Martinez
a
is the
center back.
way better.
Way better as
than
well. That is
Romero.
not even a
Romero is
conversation.
shocking, fellas. Romero is so poor. Tottenham have this false sense of security because Mickey van der Ven bails him out time and time again.
Van der Ven's better than Romero, 100%.
He's
Yeah,
not.
he
He's
is.
actually
He
not.
bails him out
He's
so
actually
many
not.
times.
People think
Apart
he's better
from
than
at
him.
passing, George. Apart from at passing, Romero's better at passing, in my opinion.
Romero is a
No,
huge voice in
Romero's
Spurs'
our best
defense.
defender. There's no doubt about that. Romero's our best
mate,
defender. He
that's
controls our back line.
that's
so
why.
many bozo moments, man.
That's why Spurs are where they
Well,
are right
Lisandro
now, and they've been
Martinez has
regressing
a
since
lot of them.
since pretty much the next international break this time last year. You won 10 games in a row, and you've been regressing since because you believe players like Romero are decent, because your manager will not adapt to the Premier League. And
What
Ten
do you
Hag,
He
think?
doesn't need to
Dan?
adapt.
Dan
Wait,
is a man
and you keep saying he
What do you
doesn't
think,
adapt.
Dan?
He has adapted.
Man,
As I
seriously,
said,
what do you think?
he
I
hasn't
think
adapted. He's
I actually
failed
think it's
to
quite
adapt.
close. I actually think what Dan's saying is quite close. Sorry, Dan, I know you want to come in on because it's Man United and you're a United fan, but my thoughts are I don't think it's as mad of a statement as what Mo's making out. I don't think the team,
No.
if we went through it, I don't think Man United and Spurs, it's like Spurs are levels of Man United. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think
No,
so.
I actually think
genuinely
Manchester United
think-
might have a better
I
squad.
genuinely think, apart from
No
Kobe Mano, none of the Man United players will get in. None.
None.
Nah?
Dallo
Who's
only.
getting in?
Dallo only, and Dallo doesn't
Dallo
play
over
right
who?
back. I rate
Dallo
Dallo.
over who?
I like Dallo. I like Dallo a lot.
Dallo's not
But
going
Dallo
another
isn't
corner.
even playing right back at Man United. If Dallo was playing at right back, he would definitely get in.
Mazraoui gets into Spurs' team.
No, he doesn't.
Ahead
He's
of
not playing
Pedro
that corner.
Porro. No, this is
No,
not.
he'll go
this is
left back.
not-
He'll go left back.
He's not
'cause
better than
played left back
Udogie.
before.
He's not better than Udogie. Are you
Oh,
crazy?
no.
He'll play. He would get into your team.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. No chance. No chance.
Look,
I think Udogie proved last year he's a liability.
I can sit here.
He's one of the best left backs in the league. What are we talking about?
100%. If United had a better manager, I don't think we would. I don't think we'd finish below Spurs. I'm happy to say that, and you're not going to like that, George. I get that, and that's your club, of course you're going to say that. But I think with a better manager, with the tools that he would have at his disposal, I think we would finish above Spurs. Do I think that Romero's better than what we've got? I think that's debatable. I think Romero's has been unbelievable in games, but this season we have seen him fall off a little bit. To say that Vicario is better than Onana, we slate Onana when he makes mistake after mistake. I don't see that much coming for Vicario this season. He has been atrocious. So I think if we had a different manager there, 100%, I think that gap between us and you, and let's be honest, the gap between us at the moment isn't that bad, and we are at the moment playing in the worst time in our club's history. So that for me spells everything I need to know. Last season we finished how many points behind you? Was it 7? Was our worst ever season. So I honestly think if we change the people in
our worst ever season 2 years ago, though. So we just come off the back of the exact same.
You didn't win
situation.
trophies,
and then
United
off the back
did.
of that, we sold our best
United
player.
beat the best team
We sold
in
the
the
best
country
player.
in
We
a-
sold
in
one
a
of the best
final.
players in the Premier League history. So in our first season last year of a new manager, Tottenham wasn't expected to do that much, and we done pretty decent. This year we'll build upon it. And if we fail to finish in the top 4, then yeah, there's probably questions asked of Ange and this manager. But if we do that, then our team is definitely in a good position. And we're
do you think George, do you think you finish top 4?
I do think it's going to be a tough. I do think it's going to be a tough battle. I'm not going to write off any teams, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm very confident and it's a guarantee. But the only other team that I think will battle with us for top 4 is Chelsea.
I think you can write off Man United right now.
I've said that.
Right now, Dan. Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying
don't know.
you
You go and get Thomas Tuchel, my energy might change based on how he's set up. I am actually looking at the board and them keeping Ten Hag. I am here assuming there are 2 possibilities here. it's either Man United will continue the season with Ten Hag, or Ten Hag will go and it will be Ruud van Nistelrooy. I don't think the outcome will change as much. I think with Ruud, you might see the new manager bounce. You might see a better thing. But I don't think he will be able to turn it around like a Thomas Tuchel or an Allegri or a Hansi Flick or a De Zerbi. I don't think so. Right? This is why, Dan, I'm assuming that the situation at Man United doesn't change until the season ends. Because I don't think they're going to go now and get a Tuchel.
We're 5 games into a Premier League season and we're already talking about, okay, let's go again next season. That is what's wrong with this club. And like, that is what irritates me. And yeah, we can sit here
and again next season, bro. It's September.
Exactly that. I'm bored of it. I can't be asked of it anymore.
That's why Spurs are ahead of you. Like,
you know what?
To be honest, no matter how bad we can talk about Andy
management, yeah, 100%.
I am very negative. People think I'm negative. I am very negative about Manchester United.
Oh, I get it as well.
Once Ineos made that decision to keep this guy, I said to Terry to his face, I said, Terry, this is strike one already. Already, these guys just walked in the door. It's strike one already, bro. And it's proven that it's the wrong decision, isn't it? No one can sit here and say that was the right decision.
No. How many owners come in and get rid of the manager and say he's not our manager? We come in, we're bringing exactly.
So let me do something quick, right? Because I actually agree with Liverpool Truth. I want to put combined 11s in room 101, but do you know what? I kind of feel like I want to see what people's thoughts are here with this, because I think we're actually quite split as a panel. Like, real talk, I think personally Tottenham might get more players in, but I don't think they're levels ahead of United. I don't look at the two squads and go, wow, Man United can only dream of being as good as that 11 that Tottenham have got. I mean, and I think Tottenham have got an all right 11, to be fair. But, I mean, let's do it quick.
Let's agree on some fact. Van de Ven will start. Everyone agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Solanke will start up top as a striker. He's more proven than both of them. Son will start on the left wing. There's no argument here, right? Right?
No.
Oh, I don't know about this.
I don't know, actually. Son's been all
who would Garnacho?
No, wait.
Garnacho.
This
Rashford, I suppose.
Wait, can I just
probably have Rashford.
It's a
Rashford or Diallo
on the left
as wingers.
Son has created the most chances in the Premier League so far this season with 13.
That hasn't been starting, so I'm not having that. I'm
So who would start, Dan? Who do you think you should start at the left?
I wouldn't start at Rashford. I'd put Garnacho there, 100.
Garnacho over Youngman's Son now at the current moment.
Now, 100%. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Garnacho has played one game as a left winger, if I'm not mistaken. The majority of the games he came on for Amad Diallo on the right. No,
still playing. Left's his natural position. That's where he plays from.
This is crazy.
Garnacho over Son for me.
So timing and this season,
I think it deserves jail time.
Good.
Son 5-6 years ago, we don't even have this conversation. But Son now, I'm putting Garnacho there. Of course I am.
Son still scores 15 plus goals in the Premier League this season, but Garnacho's will never. He can't even dream of touching that in this Man United team.
Garnacho's 19 years old,
and that's my point. He can't dream of touching that in the Premier League this season. So how's he a better player?
Where was Son playing at 19, George? Because he weren't playing for Man United.
No, he wasn't. But that's not the point. We're talking about players now this season, and you're comparing them. You're choosing to
Garnacho scoring outrageous goals for Man United at that age. Son weren't even close to playing for a team at that level.
Why is the age?
What have I walked into? Jesus.
No, honestly, guys, why is the age relevant? You guys think Garnacho the team?
I like this going because my wife thinks I'm at the pub, so I've got to go in a minute.
Well, let's do it. Let's go around. Let's start with the goalkeeper, like logical. We are saying Onana or Vicario. George, you're putting through Vicario, I suppose.
100%.
Okay, Dan, who are you saying?
Onana, 100%.
Okay, that's two for Onana. Pete, who are you going for?
Jesus.
It's like who's the biggest flapper out of the pair of them, isn't it?
Yeah, Vicario would have been hands down last season, but it's definitely more even this year. I'll probably just side with Onana.
We're going on this season. I'm going Onana this season because Vicario flaps everything. Judge Mo, what are you telling me?
I'm still choosing Vicario. It's still Vicario for me.
Hates him
because
of Milan. That's what it is.
No, I actually thought last season does not justify. Last season he had a terrible season, and I don't know what happened to him. But this season he has improved. But I'm still like, I would pick Vicario because I think he still makes terrible positioning mistakes. Onana, in my opinion.
What back four are we going with then? Because I mean, I guess George, you're putting all the whole of the Tottenham back line in, yeah?
The whole Tottenham back line. That's not even a question for me.
I would maybe start Dalot as a right back.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw's better than
Dalot, for
Udogie.
me, Dalot as right
Like,
back. The problem is he hasn't
miles.
played.
Luke Shaw is miles ahead.
Yeah, but Dan,
Right.
Luke Shaw hasn't kicked the ball this season. You can't.
I don't care. He's
He hasn't
still
even
better
kicked the
than
ball
him.
this
He's
season.
not. He's not. He doesn't
We
even
got to go on
exist.
this season. We got to go on this season.
I'm United. I'm not even going. It's Udogie 100%. Luke Shaw doesn't even know what a football pitch is anymore.
I mean, like, I'm struggling.
I'll probably
I'm
have
struggling
Dallo
to
left
get-
back over him.
I'm struggling to get the Man United players into the back line because Tottenham.
For me,
walks in over.
For me, I'm going.
Delict over Romero maybe, but
For me, I'm
there's no way.
going
No way.
Udogie left back for me. I'm then going Van der Ven. I'm going Delit, and then I'm going Porro. That's my back four.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel that.
think Delit's good. The Delit's looked all right in a couple games for them, but he's not a good defender. I feel like
I think Dallo is better.
He's done better than Romero's made
He's
mistakes.
not better than Romero. There's no way.
He's made
There's
big
no-
mistakes. This season.
Romero's not made a mistake this season, Pete. Apparently, he's
made
made
two
two
mistakes.
mistakes.
Yeah,
I said
yeah,
two
he's
mistakes.
made a number of mistakes.
By defender. He's had really good games.
Okay, Mo, what back four are you going with?
Dalot, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie.
Okay, Dan, Chelsea, Dan.
Dallo, Delit, Van der Ven, and Pedro Porro.
Wow.
Okay,
Play.
I'm gonna go with this. I hate saying this because I'm Arsenal, but I'm gonna go with the Spurs back line because I just think Romero and Van der Ven as a partnership is actually decent. I think Romero is
4 clean
really
sheets in like
bozo
36
moment.
games, mate. Like that ain't that
Yeah,
good.
I don't
bozo.
understand that, Dan.
He's got
I
bozo
don't
moment, he's
understand.
got bozo moment in him. I think Udogie is quality enough. Don't rate the Man United left backs. Maybe Mazraoui this season over Porro because defensively he's better. Porro is more of a winger to me, if I'm honest. Like there's no defensive ability there whatsoever at Porro.
You're
I'm
talking
struggling.
yourself out of the Spurs back line because as soon as you start analysing it, you realise
Yeah.
it's shit.
No,
That
it's
is
not.
hard, man.
We concede chances because of the way we play, not because the players are bad. This is just,
Mate, you can see
it's-
chances when you're not on.
I
You're
We
not
just
being
don't like
carried
Tottenham.
away
It's
Like,
like
by
yeah,
transition.
some of your opinions on some of our players, like Udogie, who was one of the best left backs in the league last
I'll
season.
tell you
just
what I'll do.
lost.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go with 2 and 2 then, because that's what I'm feeling at the moment. Van der Ven is an absolute starter. Udogie is an absolute starter for me. I'll go Dallo and Martinez as the other two. That's what I'll do. Because I think it's actually a lot closer than you think. So Spurs definitely, I agree with George. I think the way they play, they definitely the high line puts them behind, and I think we might see that problem at the weekend. The midfield for me is well hard, man, because Ugarte we can't pick because he ain't kicked a ball yet, but
We're
he is a
talking about
baller.
this season performances because if we are,
Yeah.
Bruno doesn't get a sniff in the team. He's been one of the worst midfielders in the league. If we're being honest, let's be real now.
You're talking like Spurs are top of the fucking table here.
No.
by the way.
What I'm talking
Literally
about
like
is your
Spurs
captain.
are just.
Your
You're talking like Spurs. No. I get it.
Madison has been
Talking to me,
shite, mate.
Spurs
Madison's
are
been so
absolutely
poor.
Stunning, and you
And you don't
honestly.
watch Tottenham, it's quite clear.
Mate, I've
you-
watched
no,
Spurs.
there's no
You've been
Kicking
diving
off,
off
it's
this
Madison's
kicking
been
season,
off.
mate.
good. Madison's been good this season. What are we doing?
Bro,
Not,
Dan,
mate.
they always speak like they're top of the league. It's always that. It's always the case. It's always the case.
It was 3. I thought it was 3-0 North London derby. They told me it was going to be 3-0.
No, I don't know because I don't get.
No, but I
people
don't
saying
understand
you
how
speak
Bruno
like you're
Fernandes can
above it.
get into
It's no
any
speaking like
combined
you're above it.
11.
Just knowing the level of some of your players. But Bruno's been shit this season. You can admit that. It's not that hard to say. Like, what are we doing?
I said that, but the way you're talking like Spurs have hit the ground
I
running.
never said anything about my team. I just said that Bruno's been rubbish. That's what
Is it a case that it's one or the other?
seems
Is it
like
is
it's
it is
insecurity.
it
I know-
a
I know
case that
that
it's
It's going to
Madison
be Bruno or
or
Madison.
Bruno?
Innit? Bruno or Madison. innit?
If that's what we're doing, who's had the better season so far? That'll probably spark another conversation. But who's had the better season so far?
Madison probably. Bruno's been non-existent, hasn't he?
Ericsson
None
and
of them has
Bruno.
been exceptional.
Ericsson and
But if you
Bruno
have to
are getting
choose
to this
one,
team.
I would choose Madison.
Dan, you're just Dan. Stop hating because Kulusevski's been the best.
You know what? I chuck Mason Mount in there as well, mate.
What are we doing here? You just don't like Spurs. You're just waffling now. Because
I don't
Kulusevski's
like
been
Spurs,
better than
but
he's been
Solanke's
better
my
than Maddison,
striker.
he's been better than
I love
Bruno, he's been better than
Solanke.
Ericsson. What are we doing? Ericsson scored against Barnsley in 20. Yeah, he's looked good in those games, but apart from that, he hasn't been amazing. Look,
I'm
what
not
we do-
having Ericsson in there. I'm not
See?
having Ericsson there.
Dan,
Dan, I
you're
know
not
what you're doing,
waffling.
mate,
This is
but
what
I
we're
can't have
doing now.
Ericsson in there. Christ almighty.
Kobe Manu's definitely in then. Who are the
I'd
other
throw
He
two?
can't, no, not this season. He can't, Dan. If we're going on this season, Mainu's not started
I
the
was going to
season
say, he
well.
hasn't really played well this season.
No,
So
he's
we have
not.
an all Tottenham midfield then.
No, that's outrageous.
No, they
How's
don't have a
outrageous.
DM. They actually, the problem with Spurs, they actually don't have an established DM there. Like he keeps trying. Bentancur wants me, Suma wants
Throw
me.
Maino in there. I
Like
don't
he
mind.
is
Throw Maino in
trying.
there.
George, who would you say is a deeper midfielder? You know, at the like a Basuma, you've got
Gotta be
He
Basuma.
Sarr.
doesn't know.
Who are you having
Like
in
you
there?
said, unfortunately, we haven't had a mainstay in there because of
Yeah.
Basuma had a injury. I think Bentancur had an injury, so we haven't had someone that's mainstay. If you want to throw Mainu in a team, I haven't got no problem with that. I really like Mainu. That's the one player in the Man United team.
Mate. Cheers, mate.
That's it. You can have.
Maino, Kulusevski, and Madison for me, to be honest. Maino, Kulusevski, and Madison for me.
Kobe Manu, Madison, and Kulusevski. Is that what we're going with? Wow,
Yeah.
these two teams.
I'm
These two
keeping
teams
Bruno.
are dead, man. This is
I'm
dreadful.
keeping Bruno.
Season, what are we doing, man?
This is
Can
bad.
we not go?
That's what-
Can we not
you're
go
laughing
Bruno,
like-
Madison,
You know what, George?
Bruno,
That's
Madison,
what
and Mainu?
CPCs do to
They both
some
get in?
Arsenal. That's what
When I
CPCs
look at the Arsenal team, I
Well,
laugh
no.
because where's your attacking midfield right now? You shouldn't be
What?
chatting
It's
so
not
much.
easy,
He's
dude.
injured, bro. What do you
Nobody's
want
in
him to
ESR.
do?
Arsenal on their knees for ESR right now. I'm seeing ESR over in West London balling
Now
out.
we got
That's
Ethan, man.
really-
We got Ethan. It's all good. Ethan will save us. But okay, so that's what we're going with then. Manu, Madison, and Kulusevski. Wow, Kulusevski.
Nah.
Jeez, when's the last time he scored a goal? This guy.
Yeah,
man?
but there is no
Jeez.
Dan.
This
There is
season.
no one else, guys. That's the problem, guys. There is no one else.
I thought he was a
No,
winger.
I'm
Now he's a
trying to
failed
get
winger.
it
They had to come
taken.
inside now. He can't score goals
Get it.
inside either. He's terrible, that Kulusevski, man.
That's lies.
Where-
Even Mo knows. I'm sure you watched him in the Serie A. He was originally a number 8/10, and then he got moved out onto the wing, and then he's sort of come back into that position because that's his
Yeah,
favorite position.
He's basically an attacking
Can he
mid.
hit 15 GA?
100%. He's reached that already for Spurs. I'm pretty sure one season, or close to that in his first season. So
I think he's reached it. He's probably reached it of his whole Spurs career so far, hasn't he?
nah, there's no.
Anyway, look, I know Dan, you've got to go. Give me a score prediction for it, Dan.
Now,
He's going for it. He's going
Yeah.
for it. I can tell by your face. I can tell.
Go on, Dan.
fuck it. In what world does a Chelsea fan get me gassed about this United team? Jesus Christ! You make facing the wife in about 10 minutes really, really easy now, mate. I'm gonna go 2-1 United. What a pleb.
Love it.
2 United.
Love
Right.
it.
Love. I'll see you all
Love, Dan.
soon.
Take care, brother.
Take care, fella.
Look at that.
I knew he was going for it.
I absolutely hate combined 11s, but I knew that would absolutely spark.
But
a
what
debate.
are we going for the start for up top? What are we doing for up top?
I'll go Solanke, Son, and Garnacho. God, it's awful, isn't it? The right hand side. They're putting
Rashford's got to be
Rashford. But he can't really play right. Rashford. He
Rashford.
plays left.
Marcus
Never plays off the
Rashford.
right.
in
Rashford scored a good goal from the
2024.
right the other day, no?
Is Diallo not in that conversation?
No, Dan.
Oh yeah, Ahmad Diallo.
off
I'll
of
go in
the
Ahmad
Yeah,
Diallo.
Diallo as well.
Ahmad,
Diallo's had a
yeah,
better season than Garnacho. I think he's
Yeah,
had
I'd
a
have
better season than
Good shout,
Garnacho.
actually.
Good shout, man. I'd be. It would be Ahmad, 100%.
You probably have Xerxes in there over Solanke as well, maybe.
Oh, he's on the wider. He's on the
ready to just
wider.
headbutt Dan, man. He's just ready. George is
Ready
like,
to
I'm just not listening to this, brother. George, what are you going for score prediction tomorrow, bro?
Nah, do you know what? I think it's going to be 2-1. I don't think we're going to blitz them too much, but I think we're going to win. And I think it's going to be one of those games where we probably should score more goals, but we just end up don't.
All right, calm. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Dan, what are you telling me?
3-1 United.
Wow. Pete?
2-2.
Wow.
That was last season, would it? 2-2? One of them,
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
I think it was.
Yeah. What are you saying, Mo?
3-2 Spurs.
Oh, high scoring from people. High scoring. Fair play, man. Fair play. Let's move to the 12:30 before we come to a close. We've got Newcastle, Man City. Pete, come on, man. Please. Just You must, please. No, Rodri.
You've got one Arsenal fan in the chat saying Newcastle are crap. You need us. You need us tomorrow.
We do. What are you telling me?
Well, firstly, I'm going to just go a bit serious. Thoughts to our CEO, Darren Eales, who has had to step down today due to being diagnosed with a type of blood cancer. So he's having to step down in his role. So yeah, thoughts with him in his family. Obviously, it's going to be a difficult time. He's going to be part of the handover for a new CEO. What was looking for now, but obviously not the best news to be hearing this morning. I'm not going to lie. I've met him before. Really nice guy. And so yeah, not good news from that perspective. You know what? I've said it to you before, Potts. I've got no expectations for tomorrow. We're not expected to win. We know we're capable of going toe to toe with any team at St. James's Park. However, the bad news keeps coming. Alexander Isak broke his toe. He
ain't playing at all. Is that confirmed that he ain't playing?
Well, they've not confirmed that he's not going to play, but he played with it last week and we didn't know. He played with he broke his toe against Wolves. He didn't train all that week leading up to the Fulham game. He played at the weekend. It made it a little bit worse.
Toe, man?
Yeah, it depends on what toe. Depends on.
Apparently, it's now stiffened up.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So, look, for me, don't be surprised to see him start, to see him play, probably with some injections of some form. But it's not ideal preparation for the game. Not with your top striker, not being able to train and not fully fit. No excuses though. If he's not fit, we've got to throw Asula in, the young lad. We brought him for a reason to be third choice. Wilson's still not fit. But for me, the big players need to turn up. The big players haven't turned up so far this season. I haven't seen performances from Gordon. Haven't seen performances from Joe Linton. Haven't seen performances from Bruno. It hasn't really been good enough. We've been able to pick up points despite that through moments of quality and good passages of play. Harvey Barnes has been a big reason for that. We need the other players to turn up and have big games. It's not going to be easy, regardless of the players that are out for Man City. We know their quality. But look, I just want to see Newcastle United go at Man City and make a game of it. And I think if we do, and we get in a position where we're in front, I think anything's possible.
I really pray. Just a point to do something that you take. But Newcastle aren't at the best of form at the moment. I was disappointed with you against Fulham. Individual errors cost you. I think Manchester United, if you do Manchester City, if you do that, even though it is at St James's Park, I think we'll probably have enough. I'm going to watch the game probably in the pub because I'll be there for tomorrow's Arsenal-Leicester game. Mo, what are you telling me about this game? And Manchester City going to be fine without Rodri against Newcastle?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Newcastle are going to win this game, even though Newcastle actually. Yeah, I don't know. I think Newcastle are going to win this game.
I hope you're right.
If Isak plays, yeah. Man City actually are not as good as we think they are. Every time a team with speed or with brains go at their defense, they can cut through them. And yes, I know Dan Burn plays with Fabian Schär, Kelly, and all these guys, but Newcastle actually defended all right. They're not bad. And now Eddie Howe knows the limitation of the team, and he defends deep and compact. And I think Man City might struggle against them if Newcastle play in the counter-attack, to be honest.
Especially if Cooper starts.
It all depends, bro, in Isak. If Isak plays, I'll sit here and I'll say I would absolutely tip the scale towards Newcastle, like 55, 60%. Newcastle will win the game, actually. If he doesn't start, listen, the underlying number for Newcastle actually says that they should be 15th in the table, or like from 12 to 15. Everything says that. Apart from one thing, which is where they are standing on the pitch, which is very deep, right? But the majority of the chances Newcastle get, they score them, actually, because of the quality up top, because Gordon, Harvey Barnes have been on it, and Isak. So that is the quality of the attack. If that attack plays, you can't tell me that these guys cannot break down Man City. They can.
We need Sandro Tonali to play now. Enough's enough. Like this bedding him back in, Italy threw him into 2 games in 3 days, and he played 90 minutes, 95 minutes, and then we're having him on the bench and bringing him in. The guy's ready to start. He needs to start. This is the perfect game for him. He is the type of guy that will turn up in a game like this and have an absolute superstar performance, and we need it. We absolutely need it. But, you know, I think you're right, Mo. Having Isak on the pitch, even at 80, 70%, is a big plus. Just having him on there, it's something for Man City to think about. It's a player that they've got to go out their way to stop, because all it takes is just 1 second and they put the ball in the net. But it's the players around him that I'm more concerned about. I actually think Isak will start. I do think he'll play.
What's your team tomorrow then, Pete? What would you go with?
So for me, Pope in goal. I'm starting Livramento right back. I'm starting Lewis Hall left back, and I'm starting obviously Dan Burn and Shaw because there's no other options. In midfield, I'm going Bruno, Tonali, and Joe Linton. I think that's a good midfield on their day. Can be competitive with any midfield in the Premier League when they're on it individually and collectively. And then up front, some Newcastle fans are saying this won't happen, but up front, I'm going Barnes on the left, Gordon on the right, and Isak up top. That's my team. There's some people are saying that they don't think Barnes will start, and he's been arguably our best player. This is the problem. Both players are left-sided attacking forwards, and both want to play on the left. And this is the problem we've got. We needed to buy a right winger in the summer. We didn't invest. And so we're having to play a player that's not comfortable playing out there. Either Gordon or Barnes is being stuck out there.
Gordon can play on the right, though, because I watched him at Everton. That's where he started off. He was playing on the right off of Everton, and he actually really impressed.
Yeah, but he's about to become their highest paid player. He ain't moving.
No, he's not. He's not. That was part of it. He's about to sign a contract, but he's had to properly back down on how much he wanted in wages. And there's no release clause as well. So that's a 6-year deal that will be about to be signed for Gordon, but he wants to play on the left, and this is part of the argument. And it's like, I don't want to see Murphy play.
Not play on the right, Pete.
I think Barnes is more effective than him, to be honest. I think if you put Barnes in positions in front of goal, he's going to finish. He sort of reminds me of like a younger Son, where as you get in front of goal, he just cuts in off the left, cuts in right, and finishes. But he's obviously not as consistent. But even for Leicester, we've seen he's a guy that drags them up the pitch. He's a guy that gets them big goals and big games. And if you're looking at one guy in this game, as I was alluding to, is Walker. He leaves so much space in behind. I think he's finished. I generally think Walker's days at right back and in the Premier League is done. He needs to start looking at a Saudi move real quick, because he's been getting exposed. The space he leaves in behind, if he leaves that for Barnes, and Newcastle haven't been great in all their games this season, but what they have done is been clinical with the chances that they do get, and when they do get in front of goal. And that's all that you need to be against City, is just be clinical when you get those chances, and then be defensively resolute. And we saw just last week that City, they really struggled to break down Arsenal's back line. They're just passing it side to side, sort of run out of ideas, and got lucky with the goal that they scored in the end. But I think Newcastle, I agree with Mo. I think Newcastle have got something to walk away with in this City game.
I think what you've just said, George, about Walker is exactly the reason why there's an argument or a conversation about starting Gordon there, because Gordon is a lot faster, has a lot more pace than Barnes. Barnes doesn't necessarily run at you with speed like Gordon does. Barnes in the final third you want on the ball, because he'll cut inside or go down his left and cause the defender a problem. Gordon will run at you constantly, and he'll make runs in and behind. So all it takes is a crossfield ball from Shaw or a ball in and behind from Bruno, which is how we scored our 2 goals against Man City at home last season. We went 2-1 up doing exactly that, playing it in and behind Walker and having pace, Isak, Gordon running in and behind. And that's why there's an argument and a bit of a toss-up whether to play Barnes or Gordon there. For me, I would play Barnes there, because you give him a chance, he'll put it in the net. And like you just said, against Man City, that's all you need. You need to take chances when you get it. We need proper goal scorers on the pitch to do that. But
I'll be amazed if Man City start Walker after the weekend. I'll be stunned if it's Rico Lewis. If it's not Rico Lewis, absolutely stunned for me. Like, it has to be. Kyle Walker's done, man. He's absolutely finished. So that's what I'm at. Well, Pete, just quickly, where are you at with the scoreline? What are you going for?
If my heart says, we'll take a point off Man City, but my head says we're going to get beat. So my heart, I'm going 2-2. My head, I'm saying 3-1.
Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 Man City. George?
I'm going to go 2-2. I think Newcastle go like maybe 2-0 up and then fluff the lead. But yeah, I think we'll go for draw.
Dan, what you saying?
City 2-1.
Mo?
2-1 Newcastle.
Come on, Mo. Love it. I'd love to see that.
I hope he's right, man. I hope he's right, bro.
Yeah, so do I.
We should just hand the league to Man City then. If they're going to go away to Newcastle and people are sure they're going to win without even Rodri and no KDB and Rodri, what if when KDB comes back? We should shut down the league then, because they're going to go away to everybody and just win the games.
Well, that's what it's been for the last 5 years.
That is what it's been, Mo. Yeah.
There's no reason.
No, last season, by the way, City had a spell of 6 games without a win.
That was without Rodri. That was 1 win in 6
and
without
lost
Rodri.
Games without Rodri, and they don't have Rodri now.
But if Man City lose or play like they did without Rodri last year, this year, Arsenal must.
The thing is, though, hasn't Rodri only played one Premier League game this season anyway?
Yeah, but Kevin De Bruyne was there all the time, George.
I know, but I feel like last season, the thing is that they didn't have, and what we all sort of recognize is they didn't have Gundogan. And I think with Gundogan coming back in, he can fill the hole, and maybe not as fill Rodri's role in particular, but like Pep alluded to, he said that them as a team and the players that they put around him, Gundogan and Kovacic playing together, I think they can fill the role. And
I think they can double pivot it. Yeah, I think they can double pivot it. Kovacic, Gundogan. They were talking about Bernardo potentially as well going in there, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I do have City winning this game. Chelsea, Brighton, Dan. Give me a score prediction and what you think is going to happen here.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will win that. I think we'll win it 2-1. I think Brighton have shown at times this season they've been really difficult to play against. I've been doing my sort of research on them. They're incredibly fluid under this new manager, and I think that's probably why Arsenal played in the way they did when they went down to 10 men, because the way they rotate is quite. I mean, he's only been there a short amount of time. It's really impressive, actually. But they've kind of struggled the last couple of games, so I don't see them beating us.
Interesting. What are you saying about this one, George?
Do you know what? It's a tough one because, like Dan said, that they've been really good, and I like the way that they play, really good performances. But I just don't know if they have the firepower to beat Chelsea. I think it could be a 1-1, and if it is, it'd probably be because Chelsea are missing their scoring boots and their players are not turning up. But I would expect Chelsea to put them away.
See, Don didn't say this to me, but Terry reckons that he mentioned that they could be in a title race this season, Chelsea.
Oh, he did. He did say that. He most definitely said that. He said they've got an outside. But I think there were some conditions to that. That's what he will say with Don. There's always something there.
Can I ask you something, George? Do you think you're ahead of Chelsea at the current moment?
No, I think we're probably in a very similar position. I think we're ahead of them with regards to our managerial impact and where we are at our manager, but with regards to our team, I wouldn't say we're a level ahead of them. I think they could possibly finish ahead of us because we haven't got a massive squad. So just like a few injuries to us can really kill us. Whereas Chelsea, they have a bigger squad, but I doubt the quality of it. So they're of a similar level. I wouldn't say we're ahead of them.
All right.
I agree. I think Chelsea and Spurs are fairly close, but at the moment, I think I have Chelsea ahead of them at the moment, the way things are going. Unfortunately, I know I say that unfortunately, I hate both teams, but Chelsea, just their fans are doing my head in, if I'm honest with you. But there we go. Pete, what are you saying for this game?
I've got Chelsea to win. I actually think Chelsea should be aiming for at least third this season. I've said it to Don before. I've said, anything lower than third.
Ahead of Liverpool and Villa.
I think, I do.
Wow.
With the money that they've spent and the firepower that they've got, you look at them individually as players, they are a very, very strong team. They are a strong team. There's no doubt about it. Individually, particularly in those attacking areas, they have a lot of firepower. And you look at the players that they can bring off the bench at 60, 70 minutes, if the other players aren't performing and can still go strong late on in the game. What you're seeing now is a team starting to come together with those individuals. That's always been Chelsea's problems. But all these individual players are not being able to make a team. But what we started to see early on this season is little kind of connections of players starting to come together. And if that comes together even more so in the season, they will pick up results. I expect Chelsea to beat Brighton this weekend. And I think if they go on a run of the next couple of games winning, I think people are going to start thinking differently of them. They're a strong outfit. They really, really are. And I think they're going to surprise a number of teams this season.
Mo, what are you telling me?
I don't know. Brighton and Chelsea are very similar in every single aspect in terms of chances and everything. I actually don't know how this game gonna go. I'm just have to be honest. I normally give a score prediction. I actually have no idea.
I'm gonna go 2-2. I think it'll be a Desmond. I fancy both teams to score. I really do.
I back Chelsea, but Brighton have been very surprisingly good this season.
They have.
And it's not only like the game against Arsenal. They just have been more organized even than the De Zerbi side, which is crazy actually to me. Like they're way more organized. They're not chaotic. And I don't know. To be honest, I think Brighton are going to be the dark horse this season in terms of like the positions between 5th and 8th. They might like kick someone out to be 9th and then just...
You know what's funny about this one? Why I just have to chuckle at this? Because every time that Brighton have had these seasons where they play amazing football, so people get really impressed. Under Graham Potter, people told us Brighton are going to be a dark horse. They're going to push on, man. They're going to be really good. And then they hit their level, and it was around 9th, 8th, and then under the Derby, we were told the exact same thing. Oh, they're playing so much better football. They look really good. And again, they hit their level. 8th.
They got 9th. Europe, mate. Brighton got Europe.
And guess what?
Didn't they get 6th under the Zerbi or something?
They've had their squad ripped apart every single season at the hands of Chelsea, pretty much.
And again, that first season of the Zerbi
every single time.
Yeah.
And
they had a good play.
Then they level themselves back up. I'm not saying Brighton's a bad team. Again, I'm not writing them off. I think they're better than the likes of West Ham. I actually think they could potentially finish above Newcastle. They'd be in and around that level. But I don't think that when you say dark horse, that they're ever going to be near the top
above Newcastle.
Hold on.
Hang on.
Hold on.
I have Newcastle finishing low. That's what it is.
You are okay.
I have Newcastle in and around 8th.
8th.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that bad last year with Champions League football.
It's my opinion. That's what I think it is. I think there's
a feeling.
Well, you can at least say why you've formed that opinion.
No, because I think there's teams that are better than them. I think Manchester United will finish above them. I think Tottenham. I think Chelsea will. And I think potentially, depending how Villa's season play out, I think Villa have a better manager, more organised, and they seemed more well in a place to manage the Champions League football and the Premier League season. I've seen that already so far, where their performances, the levels haven't really dropped when they've played a game midweek and then played a game on the weekend. Their performance levels maintained, and they've got the likes of John Duran coming off the bench, performing, banging goals. Newcastle, on the other hand, again, I think they're a really good team. I ain't got nothing against them, but as I said, they're a bit inconsistent with their performances, and they're relying on their top players up front, which I think they have a really good front line. But if those players aren't playing well and they're not finishing their chances, then the team hasn't got a good enough system to create them chances. That's my problem with them.
Interesting. I mean, Brighton are really impressing at the moment. 31-year-old manager, young team as well. They've only really got Milner and
they have a lot of depth as well, Dan. In that squad, like they're all at a very similar level. Like I was looking earlier, they've definitely got a decent, 20 fairly decent players. Like Enciso's nowhere near the team at the moment, and then it was only last season he was looking really good. Like Believers come through midfield, he looks unreal.
In midfield, they always have this one. Now it's Belabor. They had Bissouma, they had Caicedo, now it's Belabor. It's like, how do they do this every year, man? It's crazy. But look, I think it'll be 2-2. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I actually do have Chelsea in my top 6 this season at the moment. I think they do look good enough. But we'll see. A lot can change in football, of course. They could do better or worse than that. I think it's so hard to call. I do think the top 3 will remain the same. I actually think the top 4 will remain the same. I think Villa are showing they've got a squad. And then after that, I'm really struggling, man. Really struggling when it comes to Newcastle, United, Chelsea, Spurs. I don't think West Ham at the moment look anywhere near. But someone put them 5th. I think Lawless reckons they could get Europe. Like, come on, man. Real talk. They look dreadful.
They might when they bring Moyes back.
I'd be
Can you
surprised.
guys imagine if they get relegated? Can you guys imagine if West Ham get relegated?
No, I can't imagine that. And people keep saying things like this. West Ham,
I think it'll be funny, bro. I think it'll be funny.
More than they've won trophies in my lifetime. West Ham have been relegated more. So I
think it'll be funny with the amount of talent and the transfer market, and they won the transfer window, and they got Lopetegui, and they sacked Moyes, and the fans were happy. We're gonna play progressive football, and then they're like about 17th in the league.
That'd be so good.
If you look at the fans in the summer, and then you see how they play, you're like, well.
You just want to see the lawless meltdown, Jude. And Dan as well. You just want to see the lawless meltdown.
Lawless is the thing is, Lawless is in a real tricky, sticky situation because he was the biggest Moyes out going, and now he's out, and they've got Lopetegui who couldn't even keep Wolves pretty much up because they were going down with him. And now they're like, oh, actually, this is worse. But they don't want to say it's worse because they can't, because they so wanted Moyes out so badly. So now they're stuck with this. It's beautiful to see. It really is, man. But anyway, listen, we're going to end there, guys. Just quickly, guys, very, very quickly. Arsenal, Leicester, anyone see any shocks there? I've gone for 2-0.
5,000-0.
That's it. I actually think it'd be more. I think it'd be about 4.
Yeah, 4-0. Leicester in turmoil, weren't they, with Steve Cooper? Like
they hate him, man. They want him out. Yeah. They really want him out. Like,
they don't look good, but it's definitely one that we're going to be keeping an eye on, Dan. I'll be telling you that because I'm going to be looking at those attackers to see if they can really turn it up. Because Martinelli has been stinking up the gaff for a long while, so I want to see how that attack can perform right now. Especially when, like I said, Arsenal have got a run of games where I'm looking at. You've said you got who is it? You've got Leicester, Bournemouth, and then someone else after that. Like you got the teams that you should batter, really. Teams 3-4-0 wins that I'm going to be looking at to see how the attack is performing. Because if it is shaky, some questions are going to be asked of Arteta. Because this Paella-Pulis thing is looking it's looking like a real thing. I'm just saying, like.
Listen, if we have to play Paella-Pulis sometimes, I'll take it. If we're playing like it all the time, I'll be with you, bro. But if we see stinking out 1-0s against Leicester's and Southamptons and Bournemouths, then yeah, we can have that talk, man. We can, because I'll be with you. But I want to be seeing 3s and 4s going in, that's for sure. Listen, big up to every single one of you, man. George, how can people get hold of you, bro?
You can just catch me on the socials here, man. Durag Diaries on YouTube and TikTok, and then just _4George on Twitter and X, man. I'm around.
Love for coming on, man. Much appreciated, man. It's been too long. Dan, likewise, man. What you got coming up?
Yeah, Chelsea preview this evening, and then obviously reaction and everything over the weekend. But pleasure being on. Love to chat. That Man United Spurs debate was quality.
It was, man. I enjoyed that. Make sure you head over to George.
No, I'm not.
Make sure you head over to George and Dan and show some love. Mo, what you got coming up, bro?
I got nothing coming to work today. After this, I'm done working today. Tomorrow's a long day, but if you want to catch me, Footy Judge Mo, just some shows here and there,
Love. Make sure you do that, people. You'll recognize most of the panelists, man. They're all wicked. Great content over there at Judge Mo, so please make sure you go follow him. And Pete, what you got coming up, my bro?
Yeah, we're busy as always on Loaded Mag NFC. We've got the reaction to the Man City game. Hopefully, we get a win. And if we get a win, I need you Arsenal fans coming over, man, to celebrate with us.
Of course,
if we get that win, make sure you come and join us. But look, we've got some other content as well coming up. We've obviously got that rearranged Carabao Cup fixture, and we might have a couple of specials coming up with regards to the associated transactions, and maybe 1 or 2 special guests coming up. So keep an eye on Loaded Mag NFC for sure.
Make sure you do that, people. Go show some love. Make sure you hit like on this one and you hit subscribe as well. This is going to redirect you over to Igal's channel. So please make sure you stay tuned and go show Igal some love and go and spank his chat with 12th man Dan Potts sent me. Big up to all of you guys. Take it easy. And we'll see you next time. Laters. Peace.